What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is going to be a UI challenge guys. In this video let's see how to do these two screens. Okay, this is a minimal design, right? They have just used two colors. These two are the prominent colors that are in these two screens, right? And they have also used limited set of images. That's it, a single image here and there, that's it. So yeah, let's go ahead and try to recreate this entire design using Flutter in this particular video. First we will do the screen on the right, and this is going to be a rather long video guys, since I have to show you guys a lot of stuff. So grab a coffee or something, and then kindly start to code along with me. Okay, if you are coding along with me, otherwise just watch it once fully and then try it out by yourself. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the screen on the right side first. We'll ignore this for now, and then we'll do this. The first thing we need to do is this menu button and a small fab button on the right side, and it has a title, then it has a list of tabs, right? And this entire thing will come under tab bar view. So we'll talk about that later. First let's go ahead and try to do this part. This menu button, fab button, title, and a set of tabs. So inside this I'll have a list view and children widget, sized box, height some 15.2, so that there is some height in between the top edge and this button. And after this I'll simply create a container width would be media query dot of context dot size dot width, and height would be some height we did not give. Child would be a row for these two. Okay, button and a small fab button. So row children icon button icons dot menu, and on pressed. Fine. Then we have a fab button there as well, right? Floating action button. Inside this I'll give an on pressed nothing once again, and background colors dot gray dot with opacity 0.3, and mini true, and elevation 0.0, and child icons dot shopping cart colors dot black, size 17.0. Fine, this is done as well. Now we have this entire top bar, right? Now we'll use main axis alignment dot space between so that it moves both those elements to both ends, right? This end and this end. We should move both these two, this end and this end. So I just gave space between. Let's save this and run this on the mobile device and see how this looks. Fine, now you can see that we have a nice looking, exactly like in our design spec, we have a menu button. Not exactly, since this menu button is somewhat stylish, but somewhat similar to this design spec. We have a button as well as fab button as well as menu button, right, on our screen as well. Now you might notice that the fab button is too close to the right edge, right? I mean, not right edge, right? Yeah, fab button is too close to the right. All you need to do is give a small padding for this floating action button and specify it as for this entire container, give a small padding to the right alone. Okay, so in that case you will wait, I'll show you rather than me talking about it. Just a minute guys, I'll show you. See, now you can see that the fab button is has some space at the right hand as well. Anyway, the top row is now done. Let's go ahead and add this title. I'll pause the recording here since that is just going to be a text. Fine. Now you can see that we have the title as well. I think they have used the Montserrat font as well, since it looks exactly. Anyway, this is a real. This is probably the first time we are doing this on this. Doing this for a UA challenge on this channel, I guess, using the exact font that's being used in the design spec as well. Anyway, let's move on. So now let's go ahead and create these tabs. Tabs I already discussed a lot in my previous UA challenge videos, but anyway, I'll do that here as well, since a lot of people have been commenting saying that they like to watch me doing these tabs. Tabs add some. If you make your tab stylish, then that alone will add extra eye candy to your application, guys. However your application might look, if you have stylish looking tabs, then that will add an extra effect to your screen. Anyway, let's do it. So I'll extend the state with single ticker provider state mixin. State mix. Oh, sorry. And after this I'll have a controller, tab controller equals tab controller, and init state. I'll override the init state. Tab controller equals tab controller we sync this length, some 4 tabs, right? 4. What was the number of tabs? Yeah, 4 tabs. This is some plant something. Okay, we'll just have it as plants. So now we have those 4 tabs. We have a controller for those 4 tabs. Let's go ahead and create those tabs as well. So after this I'll give it a small padding of edge insets dot only left 15.2, and then child tab bar. Fine. And inside this controller, tab controller, and indicator color, this should be colors.transparent. Why should this be colors.transparent? Because that's how it was in our design spec, right? As you can see here, there is no indicator. Colors.transparent, and label color obviously will be colors.black, and unselected label color, what was it? It was gray, right? Colors.gray dot width opacity some 0.5, and is scrollable. This will be true. And tabs, this is where I'll pause the recording here. Since this is going to be text tabs, I'll just create text tabs, 4 text tabs, and then resume the video recording from there on, guys. Fine. Now we have 4 text tabs, one for the top, outdoor, indoor, and plants. 4 tabs, right? Now we need a tab bar view as well, where these tabs, where the view section for these tabs will get displayed. So after this padding, what I'll do is I'll have a container, and inside this container I'll have some height will be media query dot of context dot size dot height minus 200 units. Okay, and child would be tab bar view, and inside this what I'll do is I'll have controller, use the controller tab controller, and children would be, this is where I need to write the stuff for now. So what I'll do is I'll save this for, if I save this it will throw up an error. I'll go ahead and create new file. inside the lib directory I'll create a plants list dot. This is going to be our tab bar view. Okay, this entire thing that's going to be shown inside a particular tab. Fine. So for this, what I'll do is I'll have another stateful widget. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, I'll have another stateful widget, plant list. Okay, and I need to import this, and inside the container I need to add no, not the container, what am I talking about? What I'll return from here will be a list view, return list view, and inside this list view I'll be this list view will be scrolling horizontally, height, sorry, children, right? What am I thinking? Children, container height would be some 350.0, and child would be a list view. Once again, this list view is the one that's going to be scrolling horizontally. Sorry guys. Padding, edge insets dot left, sorry, only left, some 25 units maybe. Fine. And controller would be wait, we'll talk about this later. Padding, okay, and scroll direction will be axis dot horizontal, and children would be, this is where I'm going to be writing these cards. So for since these cards use the same, almost the same design, it has a image and it has the price and some details, the title of this image, the name of this plant, and 3 buttons here, 4 buttons. This is with a button without a border. Probably upon tapping this it will take to the screen probably, and a fab button that's present on the not exactly a fab button, a container that's present exactly on the card item. So I need to create that, right? I'll return that from a function so that I can call that function multiple times. That would be a much easier way of doing this, right? So what I'll do is I'll write a new function for that after this. Get plant card. Okay, and from this function I'll accept some arguments. String image path, string price, string plant type, string plant name. Fine. Now what I need to return from this is a stack. Why should I return a stack? Since stack is the one where we can overlay a widget on top of another widget, right? I've already talked about this extensively in my previous videos. Stack, and inside this I'll write a children container height 325 units, width would be some 225 units. Okay, this is the width of the card, this width. Okay, 225 units. Child would be a container, what shall I do here? Container decoration would be box decoration, border radius would be border radius dot circular 10.0, since this has some small rounding as well, right? Rounded edges, that's why I'm giving this. You guys obviously know this if you have been watching my videos regularly. Color, I have already picked the color using the color picker plugin, so I have the color here. I'll just use that. Fine. After this I'll add a height 250, and width would be once again 225. Fine. And for this container, this is the container present inside this container. Okay, don't confuse this height and width with this height and width. Okay, this height and width is for this container. Okay, so this child would be column, why am I using a column? Since a column would be an ideal option here, since all these stuff inside the card are present one below the other, right? Column children row main axis alignment dot end, fine, and children column children sized box. You guys know, I mean, I haven't touched upon this, but you understand what I'm doing here, right? I'm just creating a row for this from 25, and inside this row I'm having a column, and I'm giving main axis alignment dot end so that it's present at the right end, and I'm giving a sized box of height inside 10 inside this column so that there is some distance here, and wait, I'll show you text. This is going to be a couple of text widgets, right? There is nothing fancy in this. Fine, I have this from and the price that I'll be receiving from the calling statement. This is the price that I'm receiving, right? So I am including both of those, and after this column I'll have a small sized box so that there is some spacing on the from the right side as well. Okay, now we have done this part, right? This part is done. Let's actually see this on the device. A lot of people used to ask me, wait, we need to navigate to this, I mean we need to show this in the main.dart file as well, right? So what I'll do is I'll do plant list save this. It will obviously throw an error. We just need to hot restart this. Alright, obviously nothing is going to be shown here since we haven't called this get plant card from here, right? So let's make a simple call, get plant card assets white plant dot png. This will be 25, right? What's that? 25, and this will be outdoor plant name would be fine. Let's save this. Fine, now you can see the card on the mobile device, right? It looks almost similar to our design spec. Cool, right? From $25 on top right corner as well. Now let's go ahead and place the image on this particular card. So what I have given the image path here. Next thing I need to do after that is place the image. After this row I'll have the image and image asset image. What was that? Image path, right? Image path, and I'll give a height for this image as well. Since the image is too big, I'll just give 165.0. Fine, let's save this and see how this looks on our device. Fine, now we have a small potted plant exactly on the this is not an aloe vera plant obviously, but but we have a small plant, a potted plant on the center of the screen, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and finish off the rest of the stuff as well. We have outdoor, aloe vera, and a set of buttons, right? After this image, I'll just give a row. And I'll be following the exact same method I used here. The only difference would be I would be using main axis alignment dot start for this row, and here I will be using cross axis alignment dot start. So there is not much difference between this row and that one. Wait, I'll show you. Fine. Now we have this row, right? The only difference is I gave cross axis alignment dot start here so that it begins from the left side. Okay, save this. Let's see how this looks on the device. Outdoor and aloe vera, exactly like we have here, right? The only thing is this looks a bit bold, so I'll go ahead and increase the now it looks bold. Cool, right? Aloe vera. The next thing we need to do is have this set of buttons and then worry about this fab button. So what I'm going to do for that is I'll create another row for that set of buttons. Wait, let me do it. Row, and inside this row I'll have children sized box with be some 25 units, so that it starts exactly at the same spot as this aloe vera. And container, some height would be some 30 units, and width would be some again 30 units, and decoration would be box decoration, border, we just need to border dot all. This is for this border. Okay, there is a small thin border in case you haven't noticed. Border dot all, color 0. Okay, I have the color here rather than typing it. Fine. I have given the color for the border as well, and style would be border style dot solid, and width would be some that was a very thin one, right? So I'll just give it as 0.5. Now that we have a border, was it rounded? Yeah, it is rounded, right? I don't know if you are able to see this video, guys. It's a rounded border. So after this I'll give a comma and then border radius dot circular, some very small rounding, 5.0. okay, and color would be, color for this button would be the same exact color as the background. And after this box decoration we need a icon, right? Yeah, an icon in the center. For the icon, I don't have that exact icon, so I'll just make use of any one of the material icons. Icons dot WB Sunny, since that, sorry, WB Sunny, since this looks like a sun, right? So I'll just also use that, and I'll give some options here. I'll give a color for this icon. Color colors dot white dot with opacity 0.4, so that it looks a bit blended in with that image. It doesn't stand out. Okay, if we gave it as just white, it will stand out exactly like this aloe vera. Wait, I'll show you the difference. And size also I'll reduce it a bit so that it fits inside this small container. It's just height is 30 units and width is 30 units, right? So I'll just give it as 20 here. Save this. Let's see how this looks on the device. Wow, it looks really awesome, right? Exactly like we have, only the, yeah, it's on the sun is also exactly looks almost similar to that. Now if I didn't give the opacity, wait, I'll show you that. See, it stands out, right? It's not exactly like in the design spec. So that's the reason why I gave this opacity. Now if you watch, just keep watching. See, it kind of blended in exactly like our design spec. Now I'll create these other two buttons in a similar fashion and then resume the video recording from there on. Fine, I have the other two buttons as well. I obviously couldn't get the icons, guys, so I just used whatever icon. This looks like a water drop, and this looks like a thermometer. I don't have both those icons, so I just used whatever icon I could get. Anyway, if you get those icons, you can use font awesome icons as well inside Flutter. Now there's a package for plugin for that. Just add that package, and then yeah, we are not going to be discussing much about the icons. Let's just do this question mark icon. It doesn't have a border, so I'll just do it now, and I'll just show you how to change this container. You just need to wrap it within a inkwell, guys. That's it. In my last video also I said this, but a lot of people are asking me why am I using a container and not a button. Just wrap that container with an inkwell, and then write an on tap functionality so that it becomes a button. Okay, child would be a container. The only difference between those containers and this would be this will I'll do this rather than me talking about it. Height exactly the same as the previous ones, width and decoration, box decoration, color I have it here. Now I don't need to do the border or the border radius, since I am not going, obviously there is not going to be a border, so there is no point in rounding off that border, right? The child would be an icon button. This time it will be a help icon. As you can see here, now we have the last button as well. I'll save this so that you guys can see this on the mobile device. See, you have a small a rounded question mark as well, right, as the fourth button. Fine. Now we have almost all the items on the card, just like our design spec. All we need is the round black button as well as a description below. We'll finish off this round black button and then worry about this. So for that, what I'll do is that's going to be the last item in this, right? I'll get out of this container first, and I'll give a small padding, and inside that padding, edge insets dot only left 90.0 and top some 300.0, and child would be a container. This container will be a rounded container. Height would be some 50 units, width would be some 50 units once again, and decoration would be box decoration, and border radius would be border radius dot circular 25.2. Fine. And color would be colors dot black, since that entire button is going to be black. Now we just need to have an icon at the center of that button. So what I'll do is I'll have child center, and inside this I'll have icons dot shopping cart. I need to upgrade my system, guys. It's too slow, right? Color, I'm thinking of building a Hackintosh. Colors dot white. Fine. Now let's save this and see how this looks on the device. It should look fine. Yeah, it's looking really good, right? Exactly like we have on the design spec. Cool, right? Once again, this outline icon I don't have, guys. Outline shopping cart icon. If you use Font Awesome icons, maybe it will be available there. Font Awesome has a large set of icons. Anyway, let's make use of what we have and then try to move forward. Now we have a nice looking card here. Let's create a couple more cards, and then we are just calling this entire thing from a function, right? This entire thing from a function. So all I need to do is call this function a few more times to create more cards. Cool. Let's see how this turns out. Fine. Now as you can see here, we have a couple more cards as well, right? and the tabs should work fine as well. Yeah, tabs are working fine as well, right? Fine. Now let's go ahead and worry about the not worry about the let's go ahead and do the description part. Description part, if you observe carefully, this description corresponds to this aloe vera plant, right? So obviously if the user scrolls to the next one, then the description should automatically change to whatever plant is present here. And if he scrolls to the other one, then the description should automatically change to whatever plant is going to be present in the third card, right? So what I'm trying to say here is we need to observe the scroll position and then change this description accordingly as well, right? So that's an important thing in your mobile applications that you will see a lot of times. Sometimes if you scroll a timeline or something, the timeline, the subtitle corresponding to that particular paragraph that you are reading will automatically be timeline of that particular paragraph that you are reading for an entire article, or the page number will be exactly highlighted on the side, right? You might have seen that. As you scroll down, that highlight will automatically change to another page number, right? So this is an exactly similar functionality here that we are going to apply. We are just going to scroll with these list items, but as we scroll, the description should change accordingly, according to the card. Okay. Now first we'll have a single description. Wait, I'll show you guys rather than me talking about it. If I show you guys, you'll have a better idea of what we are trying to achieve. So after the scroll container, where is it? Oh, we haven't yet created a scroll container, right? So I'll have a scroll controller. This is to manipulate the scroll operations. Scroll. Why am I using an equal to sign? Scroll controller. Fine. Now what I'll do is I'll have a list. List will contain all the descriptions that need to be displayed one below the, one after the other. Descriptions. This will be a list, and inside this list I'll have what was the text, this entire text, right? Aloe vera is, I'll type that. Hold on. Fine, I have typed that entire text, and then there is some second description and a third description for the third card as well. Now we just need to switch between these list items as and when the user scrolls. So how are we going to do that? That's an important thing, right? So after this I'll have another variable called description, and based on the scroll position I'll be changing this description. So this description I need to display it somewhere on the screen, right? Right now we have a way in which we can display the cards alone. So after that I need to display that description as well. The description is going to be nothing but a text. So I'll just pause the video here and then add a way to show the description and then resume recording from there on. Fine. After the container I have added a padding for this text, and then below that I have added some description as well, right? This is where you remember this variable that we just initialized, created, right? String description. This is the one that we created here. So how are we going to switch? This is where that scroll controller plays an important role, guys. Just inside this, where is it? Axis.horizontal you gave here, right? Just above this give scroll controller. Fine. And what you need to do is initialize do the init state. The thing is here we are going to be using scroll controller. What happened? Scroll controller equals scroll controller. And for those who are well versed with that, you can obviously use the chaining operator and then chain this, but just add a listener. That's what I'm trying to say here. Scroll controller dot add listener. We need to check for the scrolled position, right? What am I doing? Change description. Fine. And I'll use a set state as well. Set state. This is for setting the description for the first time. So description equals all descriptions, right? Yeah, all descriptions. Sorry, what's happening? My system is too slow, guys. Fine. Now you understand what's happening here, right? We have just listened, added a listener to the scroll controller, and we are also setting the description to the first element in the, which means that obviously it's pointing to the first card. That's exactly my point here. Now I'll write a function for this, change description, right? So change description, and inside this function I'll go ahead and write where value equals scroll controller dot offset dot round, and where description index equals value divided by some 150, maybe 150 dot round. This will give me an integer. You will understand, guys. Wait, just give me a minute so that you guys will understand. Round, how do I'll just print the value here so that I can describe this better to you guys. Okay, no other reason. Print value and set state description, description equals all descriptions of description index. Fine. Now even if you are confused, just wait for a minute, you will understand it clearly. Okay, now all I'm doing is, once the scrolling happens, I'm just setting this description with the second value in this and third value in this. So how exactly will the user know how much it has scrolled? That's where this value comes in. I'll hot restart this entire thing so that you guys can see what's happening here. Fine. Now as you can see here, we have a description exactly like in our design spec, and a nice looking description below that as well, right? But as we scroll, this description should change, as well as we need to get the value of how much we have scrolled, right? Offset value. So I'll just try scrolling. As you can see here, it automatically changed to some other description, which is nothing but the second item in the description. So what exactly has happened here, right? That's the question. So it reached 150, right? It reached 150. So this value will automatically get divided by 150, and it will be rounded off to an integer, and in this case it will be 1, right? 150 divided by 150 is 1, and it's automatically being set. All descriptions of 1 will be set. You get my point, right? So what if this is 300? 300 divided by 150 will be 2, so it should automatically set the all descriptions of 2, right? This one. Let's see what happens. As you can see here, the third description is now set, 331. So 331 divided by 150, and if it's rounded off, then it will be 2. Then all descriptions of 2 is nothing but third description, which is what's getting printed here. Now if we scroll back, some other description, the second description is printed. If I scroll back to the first, then automatically it changes to the description of the first card as well, right? So now we have a wonderful looking scroll functionality. As we scroll, it automatically changes the description as well. Fine. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I'll make a separate video. Okay, I'll make a separate video on how you can use this scroll controller inside your list view to do a lot of interesting and fancy looking UI tweaks in your screens. Okay, in your mobile screens. Okay, I mean, if you want, I'll show you that. Okay. So yeah guys, this is exactly our screen, this entire screen that we have designed so far. Now I wanted to show the screen as well in the same video, but it looks like this video is already too long. So what I'll do is I'll cut the video here, and then I'll do this video as a separate standalone video. Okay, so if this video comes out on Thursday, then this video will come out on Friday. That is, once this video is uploaded, the next day this video will be uploaded. The reason is my video takes, my system, the video rendering takes too long. Okay, that's the reason, no other reasons. So yeah guys, we have almost created this exact similar design in our design spec, in our UI challenge today. Hit like if you really like, hit the thumbs up button if you really like this video. If you found this helpful, kindly share it with someone and help them too. Tweet about it or share it on Reddit or something, and then help them. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, and if you like this content, and if you want to support me, kindly hit the subscribe button guys. Hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so that you receive notifications each and every time I upload a new video. Okay, so in that case you won't miss out any of my content, right? So kindly hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon, bell notifications icon, and so yeah, subscribe, it's free, and hit the thumbs up button. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.